All right, so thanks everybody for joining me tonight. I'm super excited to actually talk about this particular subject because this is actually one of my favorite things to talk about. I actually love doing consultations for makeup, especially custom blends. So I'm so excited to just teach you maybe a few couple, things that you haven't done before, or I'm hoping you can at least pick up a few nuggets. So for those of you that don't know who I am, my name is Lee Rader, and first and foremost, I am a mother and wife. I'm also a motives field consultant. I became a motives field consultant about a year ago, and that was really just to help bring more education, more tools, more support to the field. So we've been doing these webinars and calls for over a year now, and so I hope that people are plugging in and learning, and it's the least that we can do just to really get everybody growing in the field. So I've been a licensed cosmetologist for 25 years. This is actually my 25th year. So when I talk, sometimes I talk like a hairstylist, or I might use examples that pertain to that career, but that's just what I've known most of my life. I'm also a former salon owner, and that's really truly where I found Custom Blend. It's when I owned my salon. I had that for about 12 years, and we were just always looking for unique services and things that we could add to our salon that really set us apart from everybody else. In a competitive world, that's really important. And I'm happy to say that everything we implemented from this company made our salon super, super successful. And I was able to actually sell it and get my time back. And so I am able to, travel and be with my kids and just really control every single aspect of my day. But I still get to be in the industry with you guys. So I'm super excited to share everything. Now, I do want to let you know that all of the webinars and all of the education and support that we do online is really meant to be as like a follow-up or additional support after attending our in-person hands-on trainings. Um, I think that most of you can agree, especially in this type of industry, you cannot replace in-person, hands-on, with real-life people trainings. And so sometimes I will refer to things throughout this webinar that pertains to our training. So if you haven't gotten to one, I will go over some upcoming trainings we have in different areas of the country at the end. But I did want to just touch on the trainings that we do offer because I think it's really important. I don't think I've ever come across a company that has the kind of support and trainings that we do. And I really do think that it really made me more successful in my business. We are coming out with some new trainings. We kind of revamped things a little bit. We freshened it up. We tweaked them, and they're absolutely amazing. They're going to be launched really soon. But we have a Motives one-to-one training, and we go over all different things about, cosmetics and sanitation and, how to become a motives consultant and all sorts of things. And then we also have a skincare one-to-one, which we go over all the same things, but with skincare and personal care and body care products. And then we also have a Motives Custom Blend Your Beauty. And really, today's training is going to kind of be a spin off of that, but I'll also touch on things that can pertain to normal consultations that we would teach in the Motives one-to-one. So you're kind of getting a double whammy tonight. And then we also have our workshops, and these are more shorter kind of workshops. Some are hands-on. We have a Motives marketing workshop in advanced skincare solutions, advanced custom blending, that is going to be a brand new workshop that we're coming out with. And then the art of makeup, which is a guided hands-on makeup application workshop, which is also brand new. So you can see those coming really soon. But before I get started in consultations with Custom Blend, I just wanted to touch on some of the reasons for customization, some of the benefits about the Custom Blend that we have. But if you think of it from a consumer standpoint, or I a lot of times call them clients, I'm gonna just picture them going into some of these big box stores where they've got all this different makeup everywhere, and they're looking at the retailer shelves, and it's so confusing for them. It's like there's too much choices. They really don't get enough guidance from the people working there. Some of them, maybe don't have proper training, or it's just really confusing. And they want people to help them find what's right for them. So people have been trying to kind of customize their own products. I'll have clients tell me that they maybe had, three foundations that they were mixing together, trying to find like the right color, consistency. But I have to tell you, the system that we have with the education and the systemization, nobody else has it, which is pretty cool. And that solution is, Modus Custom Blend. So customizing products, we can accommodate everyone's unique sets of traits. It doesn't matter what color skin they have, what skin type they have, what age they are, what their lifestyle is, what their personality is, what their preference is. It doesn't matter, because we can create the perfect formula for them. So I'm going to be talking a lot about more foundation tonight. We do go over the other products we can make in our Custom Blend Advanced workshop. But I want you guys to think about this. When you think about foundation is really the number one thing that women have a hard time finding the perfect formula. And what we can do does guarantee 100% customer satisfaction. It also makes them very loyal to you because you have the formula. You can remake it for them again. You can adjust it. They're never stuck with it like they would be if they just bought something off the shelf. The profit's awesome. It's There's very little you have to really carry as far as what you can make out of it. I know I work with a lot of salons and things, and it fits really easily on a makeup station, so the inventory is great for that. You don't have to carry a lot in stock, and it's great. It gives your business exclusivity and prestige. It creates buzz. It's fun, and people absolutely love it. So I'm going to just jump in right into the profit here, because I want you guys to think about, like, well, why would I want to really get good and maximize client consultations with Custom Blend? Well, when we look at the profit that we can make, our suggested retail profit for our liquid Custom Blend is about $45, and it costs about $15 to make. So that's going to be an immediate $30 profit per liquid Custom Blend that you do. And if we look at the suggested powder blend retail profit, that's $35. And we're going to say on average, it does cost less to make, but we're going to round it up to about $15. So that's going to give you a $20 retail profit. Now, in 2 weeks, I'm going to actually talk about more about profit numbers, an action plan. I'm going to get into that a little bit more, but I just wanted to open your eyes up a little bit to how lucrative this can be. Now, I'm assuming that most of you on this webinar have some type of experience with Custom Blend, whether you've gone to a class, maybe you've heard about it, maybe you've used it, maybe you're interested in it. I know I invited quite a few people to listen in. So, some things you might be like kind of thinking, well, why isn't she going over this and why isn't she going over that? But really, you'll get something out of this webinar no matter what. But I just want you to know, if you're evaluating what we have, the profit is awesome. And at the end, I'm going to go over a little bit about that as well. So what I want you guys to realize is, foundation really should create that canvas to which all other products are applied. So it's really essential that this step is done right, which is even more reason why it's so important to do a thorough consultation, because we want to make sure that we make the correct product for them. So when properly color matched, foundation and powder should be invisible. So it really should make your client's skin look flawless and smooth, yet not feel heavy. So a high quality product will help to protect your skin by creating that physical barrier that will prevent toxins and free radicals from penetrating your skin. And I actually just had that happen over the weekend. I had a client contact me, and her daughter is just starting to wear makeup, and she's in a play. And they wanted to put all this makeup on her for the play. And she's like, is there a way that you can mix up some makeup for her? Because I'd rather her put something that's good for her skin on, that's going to protect it, rather than using whatever they have. Because I just don't, I don't trust it. And I told them, I'm like, good for you, because she's thinking about that. I've taught that client that I've taught her all these things. So in her mind, she's like, I have to get that for my daughter now, because it's important to me what my daughter's putting on my skin. And it's really true. So we can actually perfect the color by both adjusting the base shades and matching natural undertones. We can also put modifiers and additives, which adjust the texture, coverage, and finish. And then on top of that, we can also put advanced skincare serums in that can address different skin concerns that they have. If their skin's dry, if it's oily, anti-aging, things like that. And then we can also control the coverage. So I know a lot of people, when they come, they're like, okay, I want really good coverage, but I don't want it to feel like there's a lot of makeup on it. I don't want it to feel cakey. And we can actually do that for them. We can make them a full coverage without it feeling like that, because of the quality of the custom blend and the pigmentation in it. So I know I already touched on this, but I want you guys to just think about, like, communication is so important, and you really want to take the time to get to know your client, get to know their wants and needs, because it's just going to be easier for you to blend that. Now, in the class, we actually do hands-on blending. We go step by step and we create the perfect blend. We can't really do that online, which is another reason why it's super important to go to the training. But I will go over things that are going to help you with the consultation. And I'm going to tell you right now, I don't do samples for any of my clients. I actually make them a custom blend and they take it home that day. They agree to it before I even start mixing. So it's even more important that it's perfect for them when they leave. Now, I wanted to throw this in here because we talk about consultations, but I wanted to put in the definition of a consultation. So consultation definition is the act of consulting or conferring. It's a meeting in which someone, a professional in their field, talks to a person about a problem, question, etc. It can be a discussion about something that is being decided, and it's a meeting held to talk things over, and could be the act of talking things over. So it doesn't say anything about selling products, being a salesperson, anything like that. And I don't know about you guys, but I am not one that likes to sell products to people. I actually like to sit down, do a consultation with them, go over some of the issues or some of the problems they're having, some of the things they don't like about what they currently have. And then I love to offer them solutions. And by doing that, they are choosing what they want. And it's so different than, being pushy or, trying to get them to buy things that you don't think they need. I don't think that anybody out there likes to buy things that people are pushing on them. They want to be the decision maker and they want to decide what they want. So that's really how I'm going to go over this today. It's not going to be about, how to sell products, but in the end, you will, because they're actually deciding to get it. So today, when the market is so competitive and so similar, what is your edge? Well, our edge really does lie in that customer service and your communication skills. Think about it. People can go online and buy anything, but studies are showing and statistics are saying that, especially like this year, that people are wanting more that one-to-one interaction. They're wanting more that human touch with things. So the other edge is making sure that you have a unique product that customers cannot buy anywhere else. You guys, they can't go online and order this from a big box retailer. And in fact, there's no way that they could even blend something that would be this perfect for them without that interaction. But what I also want you to keep in mind is that makeup is so emotional. It's not like, and I think that most of us on this webinar probably get that, but sometimes I'll run across people and they're just like, oh, well, I don't wear makeup because I don't want to like look like somebody not, or, I don't like the feeling of it. And it's not really about that. It's about like making people feel better and giving them solutions. And, so many women I've worked with, it's like, I just want them to see how other people see them, how beautiful they are. And so it's not always about like totally transforming people. It's about providing them the solutions, making them feel good. But the purchase is also really emotional too. They always say lipstick is recession proof because people want to feel good. So just always keep in your mind, be a problem solver. Do not become hung up on the sale. And I think it's just more comfortable for everybody. So with our company, we know that we actually have the best products because we're a product broker. So Custom Blend is just one little tiny piece of everything that we have access to. All right. So the next most important thing for us to do is create value as a professional custom blend consultant by emotionally connecting with our clients and taking the time to build that rapport prior to the consultation. If any of you have heard me, do my trainings or, listen to me speak, I'm all about creating relationships with people and really truly am, not just for the benefit of anything I do. It's just fun that way. So if your client is a referral and you've never met them before, it's really crucial to exude confidence and professionalism in what you do to set the tone for success during your consultation. So that rapport really does begin before the consultation ever takes place, especially because like most of the people that I see now at this point, like new clients are referrals or they're reaching out to me because they've seen something on social media or someone has told them about me. And so what I want you guys to think about is it only takes 7 seconds to make a first impression. So now, do you have to actually be present for that first impression? Not anymore with social media. So I'm guilty of this too. Like, what am I going to do when I don't know somebody and I'm going to meet with them? I'm going to look at their social media. I'm going to look at their Facebook. I'm going to look at their Instagram because I want to know like who this person is. Like, who am I meeting with? Like, what do they look like? I want to find out a little bit about them. Well, they're going to do that to you too, right? So what you put out there will either attract or repel people. So I encourage you all, go through your social media every once in a while, look and see what you're posting, and have an open mind about it. Be like, okay, is this going to like attract or is this going to repel people? Because that's a huge deal now. Now, the other thing I teach people, and I had some great customer service training at one of the spas I worked with a long time ago, and I swear I'm glad that I had that because I learned a lot of these things that nobody had ever taught me before. But what does your voicemail sound like? And so many people, when I teach this in my class, they're like, oh, and I'm like, your voicemail should be your voice. It should not be like the computer voice. Your voicemail should actually be set up. I know a lot of young people, they don't even do that now, but it's super important. There's so many times where I call people and I question, is that the person I just called? Because their voicemail is so generic and it's like, I'm not sure if that's the person. So, you know, smile when you're speaking on the phone. That's huge. So when you record your message, so if you don't have one right now, record a message, have a smile on your face because you can hear that, and be warm. Be somebody that, people want to be around. Now, do you respond in a timely manner? How long is it before you reply to a text, voicemail, email? It shouldn't be more than 24 hours unless you're like out of the country with no, internet. But then at that point, I usually always say something on my message like, it might be a while, I'm out of town or whatever. But you should get back in a timely manner. Are you professional over email or messages? Is your grammar and punctuation correct in your responses? Especially with email and text, you guys, like people can read that so many different ways. You might send something and have like or you think you're sending like a message with like a good tone, but they can read it at any tone they want. So I recommend you always, start with a greeting like good morning, how are you? Talk about, your message, and then at the end, I can't wait to meet you, or I'm looking forward to seeing you, and always have, a close with that too. So I always go back and read mine, especially if they don't know you. The other thing is you can do is share some pictures. I have a VIP group that a lot of my customers are in, and clients. So I might ask the new client, do they want to be put in there? You can share different things about Custom Blend just so they kind of know what to expect. Now I'm going to go over real quickly. Preparation is key anytime you're doing a Custom Blend consultation. And we have some really awesome marketing materials. We have a Custom Blend manual that has pretty much everything in it you would need to do Custom Blend. And then we have liquid Custom Blend surveys and powder Custom Blend surveys. Now you can actually use these for your consultation. They come in tablets, and you can just like order them already printed. It's in a tablet that's bound, so in color, really professionally done. And that's what I use, because then I don't have to worry about trying to print it on both sides and it looking nice and that. And then we also have a recipe book. So all these things can actually be ordered right from your unfranchised business account. They can also be printed as well, but I found that it's actually less expensive to order them than it would be to print them. Now, when you're custom blending, you always want to have a proper setup. So if they are coming to you, this is actually a picture of my little studio I'm fortunate to have, but be professional. Have it set up somewhere. You don't have to have like a beautiful station, but try to make it look professional. I know some people will have it in their dining room. Just make do with what you have. But just think about it. If you're organized, you'll feel more in control, and you can keep things clean and sanitized, and the session will just go more smoothly. You do need a secure working space to blend. Make sure that your kit is organized and clean. And if you are going to them, then you're going to just let them know, like, do you have a dining room table or a counter that we can do this on, because I will need that surface. But it'll give you the ability to focus on the client if you are prepared ahead of time for this. Now, in our Motives 1-to-1, we go over sanitation practices. So I'm not going to go into detail on this, but I did want to touch on some top rules to follow. Always, always, always start by washing your hands. This needs to be done between each client, and if it's not possible, then apply hand sanitizer in front of your client. Even if you just wash your hands, just let them know that you're clean and you're keeping things sanitary. Always have a clean, sanitized surface to work from. You can use paper towel. I use a lot of paper towel when I do blending. I actually like to put a towel down and then paper towel on top of that. And then work from a clean kit. So you should actually have designated makeup to use on your clients. Don't use your daily makeup. It should be totally separate kit that you're going to use. And then, just use disposables whenever possible. Make sure your foundation brush is clean. You're going to go through a lot of makeup sponges, Q-tips, so have those handy. Have all your mixing accessories. And we go through all this in the class as well. Have makeup remover towelettes for them to use. Skintelligence toner is great to have. And then have other things to apply to the face, such as the Complexion Perfection Face Primer, 10 Years Younger or No More Shine, and any of your other favorite products that are going to be able to sample. Because what happens is when you do their foundation, they're always like, oh, well, can you put a little blush on, or can you put a little bronzer, or, do you have anything for my lips? Just something that you can do those little touch-ups with. Now, if they want a full-blown additional consultation or makeup lesson, you can always schedule another time for that if there's not time that day. So lighting is so important. If you have natural light, that's awesome, that's best, but that's not always possible, especially when it's dark out or you might be in a room with no light. So I encourage you to invest in some kind of a ring light. You can get a glam core light, makeup light. You can even get an OT light, which is very reasonable. But you do want to have more of that full spectrum light, especially when you're blending, because it's going to allow you to actually see the color better on their skin. So I always teach that we are going to have 6 goals of the consultation. The first one is going to be to create the relationship. We're going to then identify problems. We're going to provide solutions. We're going to educate the client. We're going to close the sale. And then we're going to continue to build the relationship. So I'm going to go through each one of these. And you guys, I will stay at the end to answer any questions that you have. So you can start typing them now, and I will be sure to answer them. So the first thing that we really want to do is we want to create the relationship. All right, so show excitement when they come. I don't know about you, but like a lot of people, especially if you've never met them, and maybe it's just where I live, but I doubt it. When they come, they're a little nervous, especially if they've never had anybody do their makeup. They maybe don't know what to expect. And so we need to make them feel comfortable. Like that's our job. So whatever I can do to connect with them and make them feel at ease, I'm going to do. I love to compliment people. I think that every woman probably needs to hear a lot more compliments than what they get. A lot of women, and I shouldn't even say women, you guys, because I know men, do wear makeup as well. But a lot of times they're coming from work and they're stressed and they're tired. And, a lot of times when they walk in with me, they're just like, oh, wow, like you're you're happy and it smells nice in here and you've got all this makeup and like I just want them to immediately feel comfortable. So however you can do that, do it. Because people will remember how you made them feel before they will remember what you said to them. So always remember it's how you make them feel. So most women are craving that attention, and I feel like a lot of them don't get enough attention. I think a lot of them are givers and they give to everybody else before they take care of themselves. So it's even more important for them to feel comfortable, and it's fun to make them feel that way. So the other thing that I like to do is I like to ask them, what are you expecting out of today? So a lot of times you can really learn a lot about what they're expecting. I mean, sometimes they'll just say like I really don't know what to expect, but I'm excited because, I heard about you, or I've been wanting to do this for a long time and I finally got the courage to do it, or whatever it is. I'm always doing a campaign, so I do a lot of like marketing about that. Like right now I'm doing spring summer 2019 campaign. So you can explain the campaign you're doing or just let them know what you do. Let them know a little bit about your story and maybe how you found Custom Blend or what you love about it. And then you're going to want to just talk about some of the benefits of Custom Blend. I like to just tell them we'll be able to make any color, coverage, texture, finish. It's so much fun. I'll even let you get involved and help mix it. And, I think that people can feel like if you're there to help them. I actually have a lot of people say that to me. They're like, you know what, I feel like you wouldn't like push anything on me I don't need. And I like that because we've all been around people that, did that to us, and it's not a good feeling. So then I like to let them know what to expect. So let them know that you'll be asking them a lot of questions because we will be. And I think that sometimes if we don't let them know that, they're just like, whoa, this is like a lot of questions here. So just let them know you're going to be asking them a lot of questions to determine the right formula for them. And then let them know that we're going to perfect a lot of things such as color, texture, cover, and finish, but it may take a few times or a few custom blends to get it absolutely perfect. Now, I tell them this because it can, as far as like some of the skincare additives and things like that. However, most of the time it is perfect the first time. But in case we have to like tweak it for some reason, they're kind of expecting it then, right? So if you let them know it's going to take a few times to get it perfect, already in their mind, they're like, okay, I'm going to be getting this a few times, right? This is not a one-time thing. So it's kind of putting that out there. So another way that I like to actually do my custom blend consultations is I like to do before and after pictures. Now, this doesn't have to be where we're doing a picture with them without makeup versus with makeup. You can actually take a before picture with their current foundation and the way they currently do their makeup, and then after you do a custom blend on them, because they're going to want to see the difference. And you can actually use that to post later on social media, and people get it, they're like, wow, I can't believe how different she looked with just foundation. It's seeing really does tell a lot of things, right? Now, anytime you're going to do this, you do want to ask for their permission to use their picture, have them sign a photo release. You can go online and Google photo releases and have those printed off. You can even, let them have their headshot when they're done. They can just, I have a lot of people use that as their profile picture on Facebook afterwards because they're like, oh my gosh, I need a decent picture for that. So the one thing that I want to touch on is I actually never invite people over telling them I'm going to give them a free consultation. I always let people know that I'm doing a campaign and what I do, and then I do let them know that they are going to have the opportunity to purchase things that they like that I use. So I want you guys to just kind of think about that. Now I know some people they do use, they say free consultations, but when you say free consultation, I just found that people are expecting not to buy anything and they're expecting it to be free. So I just kind of want to caution you for that. Now you can say, hey, can you help me out? I just went to a class, or I just learned, how to maximize consultations. Can I practice on you if it's a good friend? Start with them, and then you can start showing, going off of who they know and referrals and things like that. And I'll talk about that a little bit later. Now, the second thing we want to do is we want to identify problems. So if you are able to uncover and understand what your clients want and need, then you can provide them with a solution. So do they really love everything about what they currently have? Because chances are there's going to be something they don't like about, especially their foundation, I find. Even if they say, well, I really do like what I'm using, I'll say, well, do you really love everything about it? Like, do you love the color? Do you love the coverage? Do you love the texture? Like, is it awesome for you, like you absolutely, and they're like, no, actually, no, I don't love it. I think I do want a custom blend. So it's funny how when you tell them about it, they just want it then. So when you become a problem solver, you'll have a client for life because they trust you and they know that you can help them. So the other way that we can identify problems is really by asking open-ended questions to gather the information. So let the conversation guide you, be a good listener, but we have to ask the correct questions to prompt them on what we need them to tell us, because a lot of times they don't even know. And so the more questions we can ask, the more information we'll find out. Now, I want you to get in the habit of standing in front of them, having good eye contact, and when they're answering you with the answer, I want you to, shake your head up and down like, yes, I understand. Once in a while, you can let them know that, like, oh my gosh, I totally understand. I felt the same way too. And then the other thing that I want you to remember is always repeat back to them what they said to you so they can hear it too, because a lot of times they'll add to it. Now, we do have these awesome cosmetic consultation forms that, again, you can actually download and print, or you can order them from your unfranchised business account. And they've got some great questions on there for cosmetic consultations. But for custom blend consultations, some of the questions you can ask are walk me through your current makeup routine. What foundation or powder do you currently use? What do you like about it, if anything? What do you feel you are still not getting from it? What results are you looking for from this product? What type of coverage do you prefer? Do you want a matte finish or a glow or dewy finish? How are you applying your face makeup at home? Are you using a brush, sponge, fingers? How are you applying your foundation? And what concerns do you have with your skin? Now, you don't always have to ask them all of these, but you can definitely, most of the time I do probably ask them the majority of those. And then you just want to repeat it back to them. Like, so what I'm hearing from you is that, you're looking for more of a full coverage, but you don't want it to feel cakey. You have drier skin. You do want to see like kind of that healthy glow to the foundation. You're interested in having some anti-aging, serums put into it. And you're going to go with both the liquid and a powder so that we can set it with the powder. And just repeat it back to them. And then a lot of times we'll add things. So the third thing that we want to do then is we want to provide solutions. So focus on products that will address their concerns and provide solutions. I always start with custom blend. Not only because it's a good profit, but why wouldn't they want it, right? I like the control of being able to make anything for them. And then feature products they don't already have. So I know I had someone ask me once, they're like, well, how do you retail so many custom blends? I just tell them all about it. I tell them what we're going to do and how we're going to make it. And then I show them the bottle that it's going to come in, and they're like, perfect. That's awesome. Yes, I want that. I want to take that home today. So they're already agreeing to purchase it. Um, I don't like get stuck on the dot, and I don't tell them like, oh, just so you know, it costs $45. Is that okay? I think so many times, and I was guilty of this too, I would talk people out of it. And I would almost like give them a reason to be like, well, you probably shouldn't spend that much on you. Don't prejudge what they want. And I'm sorry, but like our custom blend, we could probably retail for a lot more because we are providing so many solutions for them with it. But just always, let them know I'm here to help you. And I do think it's reassuring letting them know, like, you're not stuck with it. I can always adjust it. Hopefully at some point we'll start getting some better weather here in Wisconsin where they might get a little color to their skin, and I can always darken it for them if they get a tan or, actual like, sun hits their skin. So it's just awesome to be able to do that. So the fourth thing we want to do is educate. So why are you using the products that you chose? Just give them a few key points. You don't need to know like all the ingredients and things. Of course, if they want to know, we can always pull that up, but just tell them why you like it. Let them know why it's important to use the primer, because then, it'll prevent their foundation from disappearing. It'll give them a nice even finish. It'll protect the skin even when they're not wearing foundation so they can wear it without. I mean, there's so many benefits. And just let them know. I actually love to teach them how to apply it. I like to show them how to put the primer on because usually they'll use too much if we don't. I like to show them, the eye base on my hand. I like to actually have them apply their foundation so I can teach them how to use the foundation brush. And it's so cool to even just have them put it on one side of their face so they can see the difference with the foundation on that way too. But just always think like, demo when possible. Seeing really does sell. And so the more that they touch and feel, the more comfortable that they will feel and more confident that they can recreate at home, which is going to equal more sales that way too. And then I always keep the products out in front of them. So a lot of what I do in my consultations, like they're actually deciding as I'm going through, like in their mind, like, ooh, I'm going to want to take that. Or I wonder, if I should get that, or if I have something like that at home. Like they're already going through all of this in their head. So that when I get to the part where I'm going to close the sale, they already know, and I kind of already know what they want. So all I have to do is say, so what would you like to start with today? And that's all I say, and then I'm quiet. And because I did a lot of consultations before I really got good at what I was doing, and that was exactly one of the things that I was doing wrong was I was talking people out of the sale because sometimes if it takes them a while to answer, it gets uncomfortable and you're like, "Oh, wait a minute. Maybe they don't want anything or maybe they don't have money to spend and I don't know, maybe I recommended too much and I'm not quite sure what to do or what they should do." And so I would think all this in my mind, but it's like don't prejudge and don't assume what they're thinking. Now, I don't like get stuck on prices unless they ask. So if they're like, okay, well, how much would it be if I went with this, and this? I'll let them know. But I don't like say like, oh, is it okay? Like you're up to like $100 right now. Like, I don't know if that's too much for you to spend because I see people do this all the time. So use our tools. And what I do is when they start telling me what they want, we have something called a Motives retail receipt, which is also a price list. It has all of our Motives cosmetics on it. And I have that on a clipboard and I just grab that and I start to circle what they want. And as I do this, I also pull the products out that they're picking and I place it to the side so that they can visually see what they're picking and what they haven't. So if they're choosing something or if they're not choosing something that you know that they really liked, it's okay to remind them of that. Like sometimes I'll be like, oh, that's right. Did you want to go with the foundation brush? Because I know that you really like that. And a lot of times they're like, oh my gosh, yes, I almost forgot about that. Put that in there too. Um, so it's all about like you being confident too. And you know what? It's okay if they say no. It's okay if they're like, I don't, no. But I'm telling you, you guys, like average consultation with just regular Motives products is $100. But when you actually combine custom blend with that, you're going to be on average around $150 or more because they do. If you do the consultation correctly, they're going to want it by the time you get to the end. And then of course, don't forget the photo release. Now, if you want to reward them, which I love to do, is I love to give them a gift if they purchase over $100 in product. That can be something you have on hand, such as like a favorite lip gloss, a Motives cosmetic bag, but it doesn't even have to be that much. It can be a turn up, turn down packet, an awake shot, a women's health packet, mocha tonics packet. But if it's late, they might want to wait till the next morning to drink that. And then, of course, you can offer incentives and book a follow-up. So have your calendar there. Sometimes if you're just doing a custom blend event, maybe they're going to come back and you're going to do a makeup lesson with them. Or maybe you're going to do a skincare consultation with them. Or maybe they're going to have a bunch of girls over to their house. So I actually have that happen quite a bit where a lot of women are like, "Hey, is this something you could like do if like you could come over and I could have my friends over and we could like do a fun event?" I'm like, "Yeah, actually that is something I can do." And then in that case, we actually have a hostess packet that you can go over and they can actually earn $100 in cosmetics for free. You can also give them other incentives for referrals. But the thing that you guys have to remember is you have to ask for the referral because they don't always know that you're looking for that. And so a lot of times I'll just ask like, is there anybody else that you think would want to participate in this campaign or is looking for the perfect foundation? And they're like, yeah, actually I can think of a few people. Now, I will a lot of times, even when I invite them over for their custom blend consult, I'll ask them, do you want to bring a friend along? Because a lot of times they're like, oh, I didn't know I could. Is that something I can do? I'm like, yeah, bring a friend over. A lot of times the friend is like, hey, I want one of these too. I can't just let my friend get one. Like, can I get that too? And so you can do different things like offer them, a free custom blend lipstick or something or lip gloss after they, refer so many people to you. Like this is your business. So you can definitely offer them any incentive you want. So now that you've closed the sale, our goal is to continue to build the relationship. So if I'm not currently connected with them on social media, I want to connect with them. I want to become friends with them on social media because they're going to continue to follow me and see what I'm doing. And then I will get permission if they're not already in my private VIP group. And it's very important to get permission to do that, but everybody does because I just let them know, like, I'm going to continue to give you support in the group. It's a community where everybody supports each other and you can ask questions there. I'll do live demos or I'll do live tutorials and I'm always there. So if you ever need anything and they're like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, I would love to be in that group. So go ahead and add them in the group. And then what I let them know is like, I let them know how I'm going to follow up with them. Because if you're anything like me, I would always sort of, it would be kind of awkward to me to follow up. So I just let them know. I will let them know that whatever I used on them, I'm going to put on uh, an electronic list, which is a my list on shop.com. And I will put everything we used. And so we'll always have access to it. And then I'm going to create them a free customer account on my website. And then I'll let them know. I'm going to reach out to you when I know that all your goodies arrived, because a lot of times they're taking the custom blend and the brushes home, but anything else they want, a lot of times they've ordered that and have it sent right to them. And then I'll just let them know. I'm going to follow up, make sure everything arrived as planned or as expected. And then I will also, at that point, when I follow up, I'll just say, like, how do you want me to communicate with you? Do you prefer text? Is it okay if I call you? Because then they expect it and they're giving you permission to do that and they're actually looking forward to it. So make sure you put that on your calendar and then you know when to follow up. I also offer a session once all their products arrived if they need to come back. Because, I tell them, I don't want you to get something and be like, wait, how do I use this? Or what order do I put this on? So I'll just let them know you can come back and they're like, oh, that's awesome. I didn't know that that was something you did. I'm like, of course. I want you to feel comfortable with what you have. And create fans who rave about the products. You guys, this is like the greatest marketing you can ever ask for, because if something loves something, or if someone loves something, they're going to tell their friends about it. And their friends trust them, right? And so when they love something, all of their friends are going to come to you. And that's an awesome compliment to do that. So as long as you give them great customer service and give them attention and give them, solutions to their problems, they will be fans who rave about your product. Send handwritten thank you cards. Because how many times do we get that from people? Not very often. So just get that. You can get like I get like a box of 100 at a time. And when they leave, I fill it out, that week, and I get that in the mail and send it to them. You can also add, different little gifts in there as well, and then send them their picture. So as I said earlier, maybe you're going to send them, their headshot or whatever, so they can use that. So go ahead and send it through whatever means you agreed to. And then of course post their picture on social media and tag them when you show your work. You don't have to sell, because if their friends see their picture out there and they're like, oh wow, that's awesome, maybe I should do that. And so that's really how I've built a lot of my new clients, because I actually feature a lot of like everyday natural women. And so I've gotten a lot of people that are like, I love that you're not putting a ton of makeup on them. They still look themselves. They still look natural. They're my age, because a lot of the women that I see are kind of like middle-aged women. And I think that people like seeing that. So if you can show them your work, you don't have to sell. And the fortune's in the follow-up. So don't be afraid to follow up, because that's when you're going to get a lot more repeat sales. You're going to have a lot more people coming back. And every time they come back, they're going to purchase more, because they always love what they got the first time. So now, what are you going to do now? So you're like, okay, I'm going to start doing these consultations. I have my custom blend kit. Like, now what? And what I'm going to tell you is, you have to just blend, blend, blend. That is how you're going to grow your customer base. So we do have something called custom or 30 blends in 30 days. And it's just a visual that you can keep track, and you can put their date, the name, their email address, how much they purchased. And it's amazing because like when I started to like record and track what I was doing, I couldn't believe how much I was doing. So it's just a self-guided challenge that really holds yourself accountable. Now, you can do this by hosting events, conducting the individual consultations, working through existing clientele for referrals, etc. It doesn't always have to be one-on-one consultations. And next week, I'm actually going to go over events with Custom Blend. So you'll learn how you can do it that way. So earlier, I mentioned that suggested retail for liquid custom blend is 45. That's a $30 retail profit. So if you would just concentrate on 30 liquid blends in 30 days, you would have $900 in sales, in profit. I'm sorry, in profit. I shouldn't even say sales. And so if all of those people would reorder every 4 months, that would be an additional $2,700. Same with powder. 30 blends in 30 days of powder would be $600. And if they reordered every 4 months, that would be $1,800. Now that's additional profit from the same 30 customers, those reorders. So what if you kept the momentum and added 30 new customers every month? Can you imagine? Like once you get that ball rolling, it's pretty fun. It just like starts to unfold like that. And they never just buy custom blends. So here's just some examples of some add-on sales that you can provide. Our OPC3 Beauty Blend supports healthy skin elasticity, great for collagen production and skin elasticity and moisture. Our makeup remover towelettes, every time they use that to take off their makeup when they come by me, they're like, oh, these are really nice. Foundation brush, everybody always gets the foundation brush because ours is absolutely amazing. A kabuki brush to put on their powder, and then of course the 10 years younger makeup setting spray. So that's an additional retail profit of $41.10. So if of those 30 clients were purchasing those add-on products, which again, I usually have them even purchase more, but that's $1,200 in additional retail profit on those same custom blend clients. So if we would add that into our 30 custom blends, that's $2,100 in just retail profit, you guys. So that's a lot just from 30 faces, right? I think you would all agree to that. So we do have a profit sheet too, where if you actually buy a custom blend kit and you use all the containers that you get in your kit, you can make blushes, highlighters, concealer, you can make different lip things. You can actually, if you use all those containers, you can generate $3,000 or more in product sales just from the kit. So it's a great investment. So I promised you guys that I would go over where there are some trainings, upcoming trainings. So we do have a certification weekend coming up Saturday, March 9th and 10th. And then we have the custom blend actually on March 16th. That's going to be in Ontario. I think it's Markham, Ontario. And then we also have Martha's going to be doing a class in Texas on April 6th. We're going to have a Motives Custom Blend training in New Hyde Park, New York on, see the date on this is Monday, April 8th. And then Maleva is actually having a training in Mount Joy, Pennsylvania on Sunday, April 14th. I'm going to be doing one in Pennsylvania on Sunday, June 9th. Martha's going to be in Arizona, go Arizona, and she's going to be doing one on June 30th. And of course, you guys can always check for even more trainings on our motivescosmetics.com website. You can search for any trainings there. But if you are really in need of a training in your area, please reach out to me. Reach out on our Pro Partners, our Motives Pro Partners Facebook group. And, because our goal is really to get custom blend training to as many people as we can. And make sure to tune in next week, Monday, March 18th at 9 p.m. Eastern, time, I'll be going over custom blend events, unique ways to do that. I'm going to have a special guest on that webinar as well. And then the following Monday, I'm going to be going over building your business with custom blend. And I'm going to be going over more action plans, more numbers, and how you can make custom blend even more lucrative. So thank you all for joining me. I'm actually going to stick around and answer some questions here, but I will stop the recording.